All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Lackawanna City Council meeting caucus for September 20th, 2022. I would like to welcome the council members as well as the various department heads and the public at large, especially those viewing today's proceedings. The caucus is an opportunity for the city council as a body to review the agenda items individually, to consider any debate, any issues or any questions regarding each item, so that we can make up our minds regarding whether or not we want to vote in favor or how that individual item may be handled or addressed by the city council. To that end, in looking at the council agenda, the first items, hearings from citizens and approval of minutes are administrative. So we'll move directly to item number 1, communication from Mayor Iafallo, who is present this evening. Request approval of resolution designating City of Lackawanna as a Purple Heart City. The resolution proclaims and designates the City of Lackawanna a Purple Heart City, showing our recognition of Purple Heart recipients and military personnel killed or wounded in combat defending the principles and freedoms of the United States of America. Any council members have any questions or concerns about agenda item number 1?
Yeah.
Yes.
Signs, we have to have signs made up for these designated as special signs. Just
I'm not aware of any signage for the entrance to the city.
They're gonna, excuse me,
Yes.
Mr. President, they're gonna supply us with a purple flag. They're gonna supply us with everything we need to display.
So are there going to be signs at the entrances of all the cities, do you know, or all the entrances to the city?
The only thing that I was told is that we would receive a certificate to be posted in our lobby, and that they would provide us with a Purple Heart flag that we could display on our pole.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Satisfied with that, Carl?
yeah.
Okay, very good. Moving to anyone else on item number 1. Item number 2, communication from department heads and division heads from our city attorney, Richard Judah, request City Council approve attached agreement, memorandum of understanding between the City of Lackawanna and Lackawanna City School District regarding position of school resource officer. Full context of agreement is on file at the city clerk's office. Any members have any questions or issues with item number 2?
Yes.
Councilman?
Nobody else? I'm not against having a student resource officer in our school. I'm kind of upset by the process. We were totally left out of it. We're never notified the city council on that this is going on, or I don't know, I guess it was on Facebook. But maybe Mr. Wolf could bring us up to date on the process, what happened, was the job posted, whatever happened here.
Yes, the job was.
When did it start?
The job was posted. I thought, maybe I'm mistaken. I thought this was on the agenda one other time.
Isn't it a yearly thing?
Well, we haven't had an SRO in the school for quite some time.
Okay.
It was
2 meetings ago, it was on the agenda, but it was removed.
Okay.
So it was withdrawn.
Yeah, I believe the
Okay.
agreement wasn't completed at that
Right.
time.
I mean,
Okay.
He's already working there?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
we
he's working there.
started it as of the day school started. So today,
And
what was the whole process?
if it gets voted down, then he will be removed from the school.
So in other words, we won't get any credit, but if we vote no, we'll look like a scapegoat. Remove him.
No, you're going to get credit if you vote yes,
Well,
and you won't get any credit if you vote no.
Let's do this.
Oh, that's real funny.
Director
No,
Wolf,
I'm not trying to be funny.
please. Why don't we just cut to the chase? Would you tell us what the duties of the officer would be when that officer is on duty at the schools?
Yeah, he's at the high school. In fact, he's at all the Lackawanna schools, public schools, and he's gonna, well, the middle school, he'll be moving around just the Lackawanna. That does not include the charter school.
I got you.
And he will go and he'll be teaching classes or whatever the school deems fit for them. They do already have security at the schools. And he will also be security too, but he'll be helping the children, dealing with the individual students and stuff like that, teaching and things like that.
And in the event that there is an assault on the school,
Oh, yeah.
that officer is there for that purpose?
Oh, yeah,
correct?
that's when he'll become a security police officer to protect the children.
All right, based on that, anyone have any questions for Director Wolf?
Yes, I have a few more questions, please. So is the job posted, or is he the only one that volunteered?
No, the job was posted, and I believe 2 people, I forgot the other officer, I believe 2 people, himself and 1 other police officer.
Right. And did he go for training for this?
Yes, he did.
Who paid for the training?
The city of Lackawanna, the police budget.
And did he go for DRE training?
Drug recognition,
Yeah.
I don't believe that was part of SRO. I don't believe, I could be wrong there. I don't
Heard he
believe
went
that's,
for training, and that cost the city like $15,000.
I don't have the price tag on the training. Yeah.
And one more thing, seeing that our budget's 30 million and the schools is 65 million, why are they only paying $50,000 for 10 months and we're paying $72,000 for 2 months of his service? I don't think this is fair. The city's getting a fair shake.
Right,
I think they should be paying 10 months. We should be paying 2 months.
yeah, well, the agreement that was agreed upon was to pay half of his salary. The other 2 months he won't be in school.
Yeah,
Under the contract that was signed, the MOU.
Yeah.
That was part of it. They were gonna split the cost
so they're paying
for the 10 months of the police officer.
$5,000 a month, and we're paying $35,000 for his other 2 months when he's gonna be on vacation.
During the 10 months of the year when he works the school resource officer job, his salary and benefits are split between the city and the school district unless there's overtime, in which case the school district pays full overtime. During the 2 months when school's out of session, he'll be working full-time for the city of Lackawanna, and we pay all his full-time salary and benefits during that 2-month period.
Benefits are part of salary as far as I'm concerned. Well, I'm gonna be voting no, because I think they should be paying a bigger price. I'm not against the SRO, but I'm against it. What if they want to hire 3 or 4 next year? We're gonna have the same deal?
No, there's only 1 SRO.
Well, what if they want 1 at every school next year?
Well, that's why it's before you for approval,
Yeah, we don't.
so.
All right, I'm done. Thank you.
All right, anyone else have any?
Yeah, I see that in the memorandum, the city police vehicle will be provided. Is that during his whole, he or she's
Forgot about
whole
that.
day of employment?
No, there's no, right now, there's no, it says that the city may provide a vehicle. They've come back and now they've requested a vehicle. So we're in the process of discussing that with them and with Chief Packard. So in the event the agreement gets amended to include a vehicle, it will come back before the council for your review and blessing and approval.
But in the meantime, if they need to travel to and from different schools, it would be in their own private vehicle.
Unless there's a vehicle available not being used
Yes.
by the city police officer.
Even before city council approval.
Right now, I believe when he goes to work, he takes his personal
Yes.
vehicle and then, yes, but from what I understand, if we do purchase a school resource vehicle, it will be designated as such. It will be a vehicle that stays at the city. The officer's not gonna be allowed to take it home every night. He'll have to drive to the city in the morning, pick it up, and then take it to the school.
And then for the other extracurricular activities that they are assigned to, football games, homecoming dances and stuff, that would be part of the overtime budget from the school.
School
They
pays
compensate.
the full salary or benefits associated with that extra curricular project or activity, yes.
So aside from this SOR, what was implemented in the schools in regards to safety?
The school system already has a safety protocol for any possible shootings, any active shooters,
Right.
anything else. They have security guards in the school,
Armed.
armed security
So
guards in the
this
school.
wouldn't take away from any, if this wasn't to be passed today, would the safety of the children be elevated? The safeguard of the children be compromised?
No.
Besides the fact that there'd be 1 less armed police officer, no.
I can answer that, because from what I understand, the school resources the school resource officer's primary duties are not security. But he's there as an additional armed police officer, should the need arise.
And is he or she's duties or implementation of the SOR to create a better relationship between police and student
Yes, that's
body?
part of it,
Yeah.
yes. That's part of the training and the programs,
Community policing.
yes.
Right, anyone else have any questions on item number 2? We've got item number 3 again from the city attorney, request on behalf of Mayor Powell. City council approved the sale of 539 Ridge Road, former St. Barbara's church site, to a designated developer for $1. The developer has agreed to construct a mixed-use commercial and residential project, waiving all rights under real property tax law sections 485A and B. To expound on that somewhat, the developer is not unfamiliar to many people in Western New York. Developer is Douglas Jamal, familiar with him from the city of Buffalo, and through his efforts, what he's done to preserve and maintain a lot of the structures in the city of Buffalo. He is interested in putting up a substantial building on the 1.25 acre parcel at Ridge Road. And the reason it's being designated as a $1 sales project is because the overall construction could be tantamount up to $40 million in improvement value, and could represent, when you combine the city tax, city schools, and Erie County tax, over $1 million in tax revenue to the various tax entities per year. So in lieu of that, and in lieu of the fact that Lackawanna does not have an economic development corporation similar to the ECIDA that the county has, which is involved in the Buffalo Steel property, it was determined that perhaps the $1 incentive, given what the return would be appropriate in this instance. And furthermore, the current assessed valuation of the vacant land is $38,000. And since the city took ownership of it, even though the property had been marketed for a number of years, there has been no one else to come forward and showing any genuine interest. So to that end, that is on the agenda for the council's consideration. Mr. Judah, anything you want to add on?
Yeah, I just want to say, if the council's going to approve it, they should refer to the city attorney and for preparation of an ordinance, approving the sale, and approving any additional terms. As of now, I do not have a written contract. I do not have a letter of intent, but we expect to come to an agreement on the major terms. But you've kind of hit it on the head. The tax dollars to the city, by giving up the rights under section 485A or B of the real property tax law, will be substantial, will far exceed the fair market value of the property.
Just to expound on what Mr. Judah indicated, New York State real property tax law sections 485A and B have to do with tax forgiveness for a number of years. Many people are familiar with sometimes what developers receive from the county and different municipalities as an incentive to build structure on property located in the municipality. There's a forgiveness of property taxes for up to 10 years, or a graduated incremental tax rate from the first year up to the 10th year. Mr. Jamal, thanks to Mayor Iafallo's negotiation with him, and Mr. Judah and our Director of Development, Lauren Jeddick, also present. Through those negotiations, Mr. Jamal has waived any rights he may have enjoyed under a tax forgiveness arrangement that may have been enjoyed in other municipalities. So the city will realize tax benefits from day one. Anyone on the council have any issues or questions on this item number 3? If not, moving on to item number 4, communication from Director of Public Safety, request approval of the sale of 2004 Dodge Caravan, police vehicle, VIN number, et cetera. Director Wolf, anything you want to add on that one before we consider it to the council?
No.
Yeah, I got a question. Is that still on the road? Is it registered? and ready to go?
Yes, it was Captain Leo's.
Take care of the resource office.
It's an unmarked vehicle. It's just a caravan. I don't.
It's unmarked, Director, it's got 106,000 miles on it. 2014.
What do you anticipate getting for it?
That's gonna go up to auction, I'm sure,
That was my question.
$2,000.
Is it sold at auction? Do we have a
Yeah, I think.
private, it's not being sold to a private individual, correct?
No, it goes through Tom Nicometto's office.
Okay, okay. Appropriate procedures,
Right.
okay.
And where do the proceeds go?
Yeah, it was supposed to be in there.
It is in there, but I'm asking you, go back to the police, fund.
Yeah, the police fund,
Yeah.
to purchase another vehicle or back into their,
Right.
Okay.
Councilman Anderson, anything for, anyone else have any questions on item number 4? Moving on to item number 5, from Director of Public Safety, that item was withdrawn. Communications from citizens, item number 6 and 7 will be addressed during the regular meeting. There's a late minute request from our city controller regarding a donation from Molina Healthcare Inc. in the amount of $2,143.50. Linda, would you, for the public's sake, give us a breakdown of what that's all about?
Officer Kwiatkowski runs the youth program, and he needed some equipment and some materials and supplies, and Molina Healthcare offered to cover the cost of those, and the invoice came to $2,143.50.
Any of the council members have any questions on that item and on the waiving of the rules? Moving on to business registrations. Zachary Bennett, doing business as Queen City Chiropractic Service and Healthcare, 1629 Electric Avenue. Anyone have any issues on that? Questions? If not, we have approximately 13 minutes before 7. We'll take a brief recess and we will commence our regular meeting at 7 o'clock. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Lackawanna City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Now formally called to order. I would ask that everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. City Clerk, would you call the roll?
Absolutely. Council, Muflahi.
Present.
Anderson.
Here.
Moretti.
Here.
Sirdike.
Present.
Morano.
Here.
Department heads, law.
Here.
Development.
Here.
Public works.
Here.
Public safety.
Here.
Controller.
Here.
Recreation.
Here.
Public information.
Here.
All right, as far as hearings from citizens, Mr. Damstetter is present and wishes to address the council. Mr. Damstetter did send in a letter regarding a driveway that was recently installed. And Mr. Damstetter, do you want to come up and address the council?
There's a problem on the street. Concrete was put in between two homes. The family is here. Put in two homes. I'd like to know what the width of the approach to the street going to your driveway, the width. What is it, 10 feet, 12 feet, 14? We'd have no idea. And the concrete goes all the way to the other building, other property line. It's from 17 to 21. goes all the way across. Parking on the street, one parking spot on the street is eliminated on a concrete between the two driveways. No one can park there. And in the driveways, there's horses, wooden, utility horses that you use with carpenter, so nobody can pull in and turn around or whatever you can do with it. The reason I'm asking, I know the city owns the property beyond where your property line is. It's usually behind the sidewalk, and they own it all the way to the curb.
It's usually an easement, it's not an ownership.
Well, whatever, but that's what I was told is city property, okay? I'm just wondering if that, whatever, if it's legal or what, way it's been put in or not.
Well, Mr. Dempster, what I'd like to do is refer this to our.
Well, I gave, there's a picture
We all received it, yeah. But I would like to give our Director of Development some time to speak with the building inspectors to determine whether that's in compliance or not.
Right.
So perhaps we can get back to you on that?
Yes, yes.
I don't know if you did leave your phone number here, so we'll get back to.
Yes, I hope so, because I made 3 calls, and I didn't receive 1 call back.
Okay, well, we're all here today, so we've heard you and we'll take.
Yeah, it's just the idea, it's so much. You ain't got a parking spot. The street is starting to get bad. There's a hole on 34, which is up about 4 houses up. It's a heavier truck. And in front of my driveway, in front of my house, a heavy truck was put in there occasionally. Tony retired. I went in to see Greg. I told Greg about it. It was about the size of a plate, a hole. And I asked him about it, and I got a cone. I put a cone there. And then 2 days later, 4 police cars come down to Cook Street. I says, who's robbing the bank? I had to remove it, remove the cone. But there's another impression of another hole being right next to it, about 1.5 feet on the street. I told the cops about it. They says the city is worried. That's the city property. If it falls in, they'll fix it.
All right, well, we will have our.
Because, I asked Greg, when Tony was retired, I asked Greg, and he gave me the cone. I borrowed the cone to put it on there to protect that hole.
Okay.
And it disturbed somebody,
Apparently.
okay? Yes. Like I said, when I came back, I was shopping, I came back, one car was on the street, and the cop was in my driveway, and I pulled in, and I said, what's the matter? He says, I said, yeah. I said, I was shopping. I said, wait a minute, I parked the car in the garage. And we're talking on the street, 2 come in, 3 come in, and 4 come in. I says, for a cone on the street, 4 cop cars? I wasn't robbing a bank.
All right, I made a note of that, Mr. Darmstetter, and what I'll do is refer the latter issue to our DPW department, and we'll take a look at that, and.
Yes.
And our Director of Development is present.
I'm sorry, Freddie, I know.
I get confused too.
Listen, I called, I says, please come down and look at it with your own eyes. 3 calls, not a 1 return.
All right,
First district.
we'll make a note of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do you have one?
Yeah, you got a picture.
Yeah. We're supposed to get a permit for that.
Well, we'll have Director of Development look into that. All right, Mr. City Clerk.
All right, so we need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of September 6, 2022.
We're going to move to adopt the minutes of the meeting of September 6, 2022.
Muflahi seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Muflahi to adopt the minutes of the September 6, 2022 meeting is written. Muflahi.
Yes.
Anderson. Yes. Moretti.
Yes.
Sirlik.
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Communications from the mayor. Number 1, Mayor Iafallo requests approval of a resolution designating the city of Lackawanna as a Purple Heart City.
We're going to move to receive and file act on resolution.
Anderson, second. Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to receive and file act on resolution. Muflahi.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Moretti.
Yes.
Sirlik.
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. That resolution proclaiming and designating the city of Lackawanna a Purple Heart City showing our recognition of the Purple Heart recipients and military personnel killed or wounded in combat defending the principles and freedoms of the United States of America.
Morano moves to adopt resolution as written.
Anderson seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to adopt a resolution as written. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Communications from Division Department Heads, number 2. City Attorney requests the City Council approve the attached agreement, MOU, memorandum of understanding between the City of Lackawanna and the Lackawanna City School District regarding the position of a school resource officer, known as an SRO. The full text of the agreement is on file in the City Clerk's office.
Morano moves to approve request.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to approve request. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
No.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 4-1. Number 3, City Attorney requests on behalf of Mayor Iafallo that the City Council approve the sale of 539 Ridge Road to a designated developer for the sum of $1. The developer has agreed to construct a mixed-use commercial residential project, and the developer will waive all their rights under real property tax law, section 485A and 485B.
Morano moves to approve request subject to submission of a contract and approval of same by the city attorney and his review and a preparation of an appropriate ordinance for the sale of the subject property.
Anderson seconds.
Okay, so I have a motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve the request being referred to the city attorney for review and an appropriate ordinance be drafted.
Contract and ordinance, yes.
And contract.
In contract. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Number 4, Director of Public Safety requests the approval to sell a 2004 Dodge Caravan police vehicle. The number I'm not gonna read.
It's on the record. Morano moves to approve request.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to approve request. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Communications from citizens. Number 6, Gerald Damstead, a resident, submits photograph of neighbor's driveway for discussion.
After Mr. Damsetter's oral presentation to the city council, I would move to receive and file the written submission of Mr. Damstetter and refer that issue to the Director of Development, Lauren Jennick, and also the second issue that was brought up by Mr. Damstetter regarding the depression or hole in the city street to our Commissioner of Department of Public Works, Mr. DeSantis.
Muflahi seconds.
So I have a motion by Moretti, second by Muflahi to receive and file further communication from Mr. Damstetter to the Director of Development for input regarding the driveway that he called attention to, and also a copy to the Commissioner of Public Works regarding the street depressions. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson? Yes. Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Item number 7, Thomas Nicometto and Jason Sirdike residents request the use of Memorial Field to sponsor a fast-pitch softball game on September 24th, 2022.
Morano moves to approve request referred to DPW Commissioner.
Second. Sirdike.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve request, refer to DPW Commissioner. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0.
Morano moves to waive the rules.
Moretti second.
I have a motion by Council President Morano, seconded by Councilman Moretti to waive the rules. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. As Council President stated during the caucus, the City Controller requests the City Council approve the attached ordinance accepting a donation from Molina Healthcare, Inc. in the amount of $2,143.50 to the youth program overseen by Police Officer Keith Kwiatkowski. Said donation is to reimburse the city for equipment and supplies purchased during the summer of 2022.
Morano moves to receive and file act on ordinance and with appreciation to Officer Keith Kwiatkowski, Director of Recreation, Brian Laxo, and especially to the donation and generosity of Molina Healthcare, Inc.
Ready, second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to receive and file act on ordinance. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson? Yes. Moretti?
Yes.
Sirlik?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. That ordinance amending the 2022-2023 budget ordinance adopted May 23rd, 2022 by adding $2,143.50 to the revenue code for contributions from private agencies for youth.
Morano moves to adopt ordinance as written.
Ready, second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to adopt ordinance as written. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirlik?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Business registration, Zachary Beddick, doing business as Queen City Chiropractic, which is a service and healthcare company, 1629 Electric Avenue.
Morano moves to approve business registration.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Muflahi to approve business registration. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirlik?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Mr. Council President.
There was an item that was discussed, and I had discussed also with our first ward council member, Muflahi, regarding possibly taking off the table the issue of the sale of vacant land to Ali Salah. The offer was item number 6 in the last agenda, and it's either 126 Lackawanna or 16 Pearl, depending on your perspective. And it was tabled based on getting further information regarding whether it's a buildable lot, and also for an appropriate ordinance to be submitted by the law department. And to that end, before entertaining, taking this off the table, Mr. Judah, is there any update on that issue?
So from what I understand, it is a buildable lot, and I do not have the ordinance, so I apologize for that. But I will have it at the next meeting so the council can take action on it,
So,
one way or the other.
you suggesting we
I would just
keep it tabled till the next
keep
meeting?
it tabled till the next meeting.
Anyone care to be heard on that issue? All right, asking the city council, do they have any other issues, tabled items or old business at this time? If not, Morano moves to adjourn.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Muflahi to adjourn the meeting. Muflahi?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirlik?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.